My hot take is that you need to be having a more whimsical life. By whimsical, I mean more fun, more playful, but fun and being playful isn't always perceived as necessary. I mean, often it's just dismissed as being frivolous or being extra or something just for kids or something that you can only have after you get all your, quote, real responsibilities done. I mean, it's treated as non-essential, and it's often normalized for feeling guilty, like when you do have fun, because your fun can get in the way of your optimized routines. Like, God forbid you go out with your friends and then the next morning your perfect morning routine is messed up and you can't go to your workout class, or you don't wake up before 9 a.m. and now you're thrown off your schedule and you feel guilty. Like, that's the world we currently live in. But it seems like some people are realizing now that fun is actually super important to your overall well-being, your mental health, overall satisfaction in life. And I saw this TikTok from Faye Plunkett where she says,
"Have we forgotten how to have fun without feeling guilty? Because the other night I went out with the girls and we had the best time. But when I woke up in the morning, I couldn't help but feel so guilty and like I'd failed my morning routine. Because I didn't start with 10,000 steps and a gym class and a green juice all before 9 a.m. Sometimes I feel like everything's gotten a bit serious, and we just need to remember that life isn't always about routines and discipline and the never-ending self-improvement checklist. Sometimes life is just about doing whatever makes your heart feel happy. And fun is not wasted time. Fun is fuel, and it doesn't have to be measured by a Fitbit. So this is your reminder to say yes to the spontaneous plan, to stay out late, and to do whatever makes your heart happy. Because life isn't about being perfect. It's about having fun, and that can exist whilst also being healthy and living a beautiful life."
So, have more fun, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. And I think it's first important to point out that fun, like we said, is often seen as extra, often seen as frivolous, but it is actually a type of self-care. And so often we only see rest as self-care, right? We tell people when they're feeling burnout, you need to go rest, like get off your phone, get off work, go for a walk, lay down, read a book, whatever. And that's great. Rest is good. But sometimes rest isn't the best solution. On Substack, Isabel Jones says, "I'm pretty sure the antidote to stress and overwhelm isn't more rest. I'm pretty sure it's fun. We never talk about having fun. We view it as a bigger luxury than rest. But frankly, rest is maddening, mind-numbing. Fun is restorative. So if your rest isn't working, maybe try doing something that sounds fun." And I think she's right to say that we view fun as a bigger luxury than rest, because already rest seems like a luxury. So often I feel like I hear people say, "Oh, I don't have time for that," when referring to rest, or "I'm so busy, I have to do XYZ, I don't have time just to lay down or to read a book," or "How do you read so many books in a year? I don't have any time for that." Viewing it as a luxury when realizing you have to make the time. And fun is even more of a luxury. I know growing up, I've always heard you need to get all your work done before you can have fun, right? And you need to do all your responsibilities before having fun. You can't just have fun. Like, fun is seen as a reward, something that you have to earn, when it should just be a type of self-care. And over the past few weeks, I've been reading Florence Given's book, Women Living Deliciously. I think I've talked about it in previous episodes, but I just really love what she has to say about fun and joy, where she goes to say that these are essential parts of life. She says, when we disregard the importance of joy, of play, and presence, we normalize the emphasis on working, of not enjoying life, of not finding joy in the roles and responsibilities. We normalize discontent. We forget that the journey is the most fulfilling part. I think she's right, because we have normalized an emphasis on working, on productivity, on being optimized, on hustle culture, whatever you want to call it, where rest can make you feel guilty, and having fun even more so, even though it is benefiting your health. Like, rest, so important. I am a big advocate for naps. You could ask literally any of one of my friends. If you can't find me or get in contact with me, I'm probably asleep. Okay, I love rest. I'm a sleepy girl. But fun is also a form of self-care, and it's often overlooked. And sometimes what you need to recharge isn't more sleep or stillness or horizontal time, even though love that. But it's sometimes you just need a more active, playful experience, something that feels fulfilling, something that you're doing just for pleasure. And in that way, fun can be energizing and restorative in a way that's different from rest. This elusive fun isn't just going to appear. Like, you need to seek it out. Just with rest, if you're someone who doesn't prioritize rest, you're going to feel like you have no time to do it and that it won't fit into your schedule. You need to make the time. With rest, you need to make the time, and with fun, you need to make the time, especially as life gets busier and busier. I realized this when I got to college, was just that everyone is on so many different schedules that you need to plan out your fun. And it feels kind of ridiculous going through your schedule and trying to plan when you're going to go on a walk with someone or a lunch date, but sometimes that's just what has to happen. And Florence Given says, unless you make an intentional effort to enjoy your life, that enjoyment will be sidelined, forgotten, until it's eventually deemed, quote, unnecessary for a good life. Like she says, it has to be intentional. You have to make an effort to do it. And at first, this might feel uncomfortable. This might make you feel guilty, like you should be doing something more productive. Like, you might be thinking, why am I trying this new workout class when I could be getting ahead on my assignments for the week? But fun in its own way can also be productive. Also, it's good for you, okay? Have fun. And it's fun, so why not? And when I was looking into this idea of fun as self-care, I started to wonder, what about being happy? People always say, like, the goal in life is to be happy, right? But I think this isn't quite right, or shouldn't be your entire focus, because happiness is outcome focused. It relies on outside forces, okay, most of the time. And it often leads to disappointment because you have an expectation for how happy you're supposed to feel when something great happens. And usually things don't add up, and then you feel guilty for not being happy. And then it's like, oh my God, why am I not happy? I'm so ungrateful. Or maybe that's just me overthinking it. But I think happiness can often be a trap, and it feels like something that's just like a lot of pressure. But fun is different. It's less think, more do. You're the one in control. Like, you have the power to be intentional and set these things out. And more fun will lead to a more meaningful life. So stop worrying about how happy you are. Like, it's seriously just creating pressure. And on this article, here's why you should make a habit of having more fun by NPR. They say, people who highly value happiness may end up feeling disappointed about how they feel, paradoxically decreasing their happiness the more they want it, wrote the authors of a 2011 study in the journal Emotion. In contrast, fun is relatively easy to achieve. Yet many adults are conditioned to believe that it isn't important and experience very little of it. So happiness, hard, leads to disappointment, okay? When you're seeking it, because it's that pressure. Fun, easy. Why wouldn't we want to do the easy thing, right? And with fun, the fact that you're in control, you're giving yourself more agency. You are in the driver's seat of your life. You're not just letting life happen to you. You're in control. In her article, Stop Being a Victim of Your Own Life by Smart is Sexy on Substack, she says, it sounds harsh, but if you're not where you want to be, it's not because the world is against you. It's because you haven't decided to take full responsibility for your life yet. That might sting, but it's also the most freeing realization you can have. When you stop blaming your circumstances, your parents, your ex, your boss, your body, your bank account, whatever it is, and instead ask yourself, what's in my control right now? Everything starts to shift. This is what we call radical responsibility. Radical responsibility being taking ownership of everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, and focusing on what you can control. This isn't about outside forces. It's about what can you control? How can you retake agency over your own life? And there's always something small that you can do. And she talks about this in her article. It might feel like you're stuck, but there's something small you can do. She gives the example of if you're someone who wants to get more fit, you say you don't have time for exercise. Okay, do 15 push-ups before bed. Whatever. At least you're doing something that is taking a small step. I think this idea of having more fun, being more whimsical, being more playful is becoming a lot more popular. Specifically online, it's been gaining a lot of traction, and I think that is mostly due to Cease Campbell's TikTok series, her whimsy tip of the day, which I'm currently obsessed with. I would be lying if I said she wasn't the inspo for this episode. But pretty much, she's just sharing a bunch of small, lighthearted ideas to make your life more playful, more fun. She talks a lot about the role of technology and how we're in pretty much a box where life seems so serious and everything is so urgent. But she's encouraging people to slow down, notice the small things, add a bit more whimsy, add a bit more fun. Because why not? When everything else is so serious, you deserve to have some fun. And she's encouraging this idea of doing things purely for enjoyment, not because they're productive, not because they're useful, not because it's getting you closer to achieving your goal, but just because it's fun and it brings you joy. And the vibe is very much adding quirky, spontaneous moments into your everyday life for no other reason than that they make you happy. So I want to talk about how we can have more fun and make it easy to have fun, okay? Because I know we're all busy. I'm busy. Even just thinking about my calendar or looking at my calendar, it makes me feel very overwhelmed, even though it is very nicely color-coded and aesthetic. But thinking about when am I going to rest? When am I going to have fun? That can feel a bit overwhelming. First, we need to reflect, okay? Before we can actually be having the fun and doing the things, we need to reflect. And we're going to audit our calendar for fun instead of productivity. You're going to do this by tracking your activities for 1 week. I personally use Google Calendar. I think it's easy having it digital. You can color code it, super fun. If you're someone who prefers writing it, do that. What you're going to do for this is log how much time you're spending on each thing you're doing every day and when you're doing it. So this would be like your work, social commitments, time you're on your phone. Like literally, what are you doing all day? For me this morning, okay, I will say I had a very lazy morning. So probably if I was doing this and tracking my activities, it would be like lay in bed, be on my phone for an hour, and then go to the kitchen, make my matcha, do a brain dump, whatever, and now it's record podcast episode, okay? Organizing things like that. And this is really just gonna put it all in your face and really help you reflect on how do you spend your time. And I know for me, when doing this, it was a bit of a moment of, why am I spending so much time doing things that I don't want to be doing? Like, why am I spending so many hours on my phone? Why am I watching so much TikTok when I can't even remember or tell you what I watched on TikTok? Right? So this will help you reflect on, what do you want to be doing differently? Is how you spend your time what you want to be doing? Or are you wanting to change things? And I think it's really important to pay attention to how much of your free time is spent on a device. Okay, how much of your time are you spent scrolling? Are you on YouTube? Are you doing whatever it is, playing games on your phone? I don't know. How often are you trying to escape from feelings of boredom or discomfort? Are you someone who, whenever a line is too long, you pull out your phone because you're feeling awkward? Or if you have extra time waiting, you pull out your phone? Or if there's a lull in conversation, you pull out your phone? Like, thinking about that stuff. And I really encourage you to stop being on all the time. So often, we feel like things are urgent. If someone texts us, we need to immediately respond. If someone comments on something we did, we need to immediately respond. If someone's calling us, we need to immediately respond and be on. And I think that's just part of having a phone, is that it feels like people need to have access to you all the time. And that can be really exhausting. Also, if you're someone who says you don't have any free time, yet your screen time is over 2 hours, babes, that's where your free time is going, okay? You can't be saying you don't have any free time when you're literally using all your free time to go on TikTok. Yes, I'm calling you out, okay? But seriously, look at your screen time and just reflect and say, this is where my leisure time is going. My screen time this past week has been up from what it usually is. I think I was around like the 3.5 hours, which feels really high for me. I know for some people it's closer to 5, some people it's way less, but that's my leisure time. That's 3.5 hours I could have spent doing something fun instead of like doom scrolling. Okay, so now that we've looked at our calendar and we've evaluated how we're spending our time, we need to think of fun things to do, right? And if you're like me, you're probably sitting there and is like, I don't know, fun things, I don't really know. Trying new things is scary and makes me want to throw up. I'm not a fan, okay? This is where we're gonna find our fun magnets. And you're gonna do this by reflecting on your previous experiences and memories and thinking back to, when do you remember having fun? What can you think back on and you're like, oh, that was actually really fun? Right now I'm thinking back to my freshman year of high school. I tried aerial silks. Why? I don't know, but that was super fun. Okay, that could be one of my fun magnets. Another thing that has been fun for me recently, making matcha lattes at home. That's fun. That's easy. I'm saving money. Another fun thing I like doing, coloring books. Okay? I like to color, and that's something fun and easy for me, helps me reconnect with my inner art kid, whatever. So thinking about, make a list of all the fun things you can remember doing, even if it was when you were a kid. When I was little, I really liked painting, okay? So what are the common threads? Who was involved in these activities? Are these solo activities? Is it activities you're doing with friends, with family? And what type of activity is it? For me, it's a lot of arts and crafts, okay? I love me some arts and crafts. For you, it could be different exercise classes. Not me, but if that was me, I'd be grateful, okay? If that's your thing, that's super good and seems really healthy anyway. I think I'm just pissy because I don't enjoy exercise. But it is fun when you get to try a new class. Anyway, where do these things take place? Is it in your home? Is it at a gym? Is it in a community center? And really reflecting on that. So that's how you're going to find your fun magnets. As humans, we tend to do what is the easiest, most comfortable thing, rather than what we know to be good for us. Okay, we know this. If you've read Atomic Habits or know anything about building habits, you know that if something isn't easy and directly in front of your face, you're not going to do it. If you say you want to read your book before bed, but your phone is on your nightstand, not your book, you're going to go on your phone because that's easy. If you have your book on the other side of the room, you're not going to get up and grab your book. That's not easy, even though logically you know reading would be much better for you than scrolling. So this is why we need to make fun easy, okay? And you're going to do this by leaving the fun out. This is where you're going to make fun things more accessible, so you're more likely to do it. So, do you want to paint? Leave your paint out where you can see it. Do you want to use your coloring book? Don't leave it in a drawer. Set it out on your desk so you see it. And this will help you make fun part of your daily life, if you're putting it right in front of your face. Literally. This is how I got into my reading habit of reading every night. I have my Kindle closer to my bed than my phone. Like, literally, I will put my Kindle on top of my phone so that if I'm trying to grab my phone, oh, psych, it's a book. This is just what you're gonna have to do because your brain is not gonna remember. You have so many things going on, so many other commitments. So if it's not easy, you're very unlikely to do it. Also, try putting your fun things in a common space. For me, this could be putting my coloring book right by the couch in my living room in my apartment at school. I know that my roommates like to color. So this could help bring us together, right? If we all do coloring together instead of me just coloring in my room. And that's this lovely idea that fun and whimsy can bring people together. You having fun encourages other people to have fun. And whimsy is felt and experienced and created. As we've talked about, it doesn't just happen, right? There's so many other things that we could be doing and that we see as more productive and that we should be doing that often fun is pushed to the side. Like, how many times have you said that you want to start a new hobby and you do it for like a week, but then life gets in the way? And now you say, oh, I don't have time for that. This literally happens to me all the time. I remember I tried to start crocheting. I tried to color every day, junk journal, literally any arts and craft you can think, I have tried. And every time I just stopped doing it because life gets busy, things get in the way. So this is where you're going to schedule your fun in. Literally put it on your calendar. As I said, I use my Google Calendar. It is color-coded. If it's not in my calendar, it's not happening. That might just be like the type A person in me. If you're not a calendar person, I don't know how to speak to you. I am a calendar person. I love my calendar. I try to get everyone I know to use a calendar. But seriously, free time doesn't just appear. You need to make it happen. You need to have that intentional effort of saying, okay, when I get back from work or when I get back from this class, I'm going to spend 30 minutes coloring. Or maybe after I shower, I'm going to make a new dinner. I don't know. Just like rest, as we've talked about, you have to make time or else it's not going to happen. So if you need some ideas of some fun things to do, I'm going to tell you. And this is fun things even if you don't have a lot of time. Because you need to be having fun now, not just waiting until you're less busy you're retired, you are out of school. I don't know. Like, you need to be having fun now. Because as Annie Dillard says, how we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives. So if you're not prioritizing fun during your days, your overall life is not going to be fun. If you're not doing it now, why would you do it later, right? You're always going to find something else to say, I'm too busy. I need to do this instead. So make that time. In her book, Women Living Deliciously by Florence Given, she says, we need to find joy in the mundane because for the most part, that is where we spend 90% of our lives doing. If we wait for our lives to begin on the weekends or really start relaxing when we're retired, we will get to the end of our lives realizing that those 60 or 70 years we spent suffering in the hope of one day resting was your life. Every single day we wake up is a day in our life. Your life belongs to you, with you, right now. So if that isn't your sign to have more fun, I don't know what is. But first, we need to acknowledge privilege. Not everyone has multiple hours in a day at a time to have fun. The ability to exchange time for money is rooted in privilege. And it's harder to make time for fun if you're less time affluent, okay? If you literally don't have the time if you're working 24/7, right? Because then it's like you literally, where'd the time go, right? So this is why I'm going to recommend, no matter how time affluent you are, to try adding fun in small moments. Your fun doesn't need to be this big thing. If it can be, lovely, great. But fun can happen in small moments. Cease Campbell did a TikTok talking about why you need to have unserious rituals. Going to say that it makes life more fun. She's very much, life is too serious, we need to have more fun. And some of the examples she gave is that if you know every Friday morning on your commute to work that you're gonna sit in traffic, bring a bubble gun, stick it out the window, okay? And enjoy the bubbles. Let everyone around you enjoy the bubbles. Another one she gave is that if you have a garden and you're watering your plants, make yourself a little mocktail or cocktail, a fun little drink. And as you're watering your plants, ask each plant what you will be having. Bartend for them. Like, she comes up with really creative stuff that I'm just like, that's so funny. It's so good. And she says, specifically, she gives a really good example about if you're upset with yourself, you've been on your phone for hours on end. She says, put your phone in jail. Literally lock your phone up and read your phone, its Miranda rights, and be like, okay, bye, you're getting put in jail. And these unserious rituals are fun. They don't make you feel as bad about yourself. Like, if you feel guilty for being on your phone, lock it up in jail, okay? That's funny. That adds joy. The goal is to be fun and to be silly. And I really like this idea of, like, the unserious rituals because I feel like when people talk about rituals, specifically in regards to self-care, it's something that seems very disciplined, very regimented, and honestly, not fun. I don't know, at least from what I know about people saying about rituals. So having a bubble gun, yes, that sounds fun. Or getting a little microphone and bringing it when you go on walks and complimenting people, so fun. Another thing that she talks about is adding the fanciful 10%. This is the idea that life will be way more fun if you just do 10% extra to make an activity that you're already doing very whimsical. She gives the example of she's going to the beach. For going to the beach, she's going to make herself a fun drink. She's going to bring a yellow towel. She's going to bring a matching yellow bikini. She's going to bring little umbrellas to put in her drinks that are also yellow. Like, just having these things that add a little bit of fun. Going to say that whimsy in your life will become compound interest. Like, you won't really have to start thinking about it. You're just it's just gonna happen and you're gonna be realizing it constantly. And I really like this idea, and it also just seems like an easy thing to do, especially if you're just adding on to an activity that you already have to do. I also think it's super important to romanticize the mundane, your everyday, and do this by finding small moments of joy, little pockets of fun. Florence Given calls this finding like the gaps in life. She has this, is it an analogy, metaphor? I don't know the word, but this idea of how benches in a city is like a really weird concept if you think about it, because cities are very much go, go, go. Everyone is in a rush. There's people everywhere, people doing things. There's lots of opportunities to explore, to do new things. And a bench is just sitting there asking you to stop, to rest, to take a break from everything that's going on. Finding these small moments of joy and pockets of fun is kind of like sitting on your own bench, okay? You're taking a step back and really just getting to like sit in it and be in the present. Some ways you could do this: if you're someone who drinks coffee every morning, try it with a fun glass. Have a fun mug, or have a specific fun mug you drank out of on the weekends, okay? I personally love collecting fun mugs. I don't even drink coffee, okay? But I have a problem. I'll go to Marshall's and just get like fun mugs. So this would be something that I would do, minus the coffee. Let's say you love the color purple, okay? You're just obsessed with purple. Wear a purple accessory every day, okay? Wear a purple shirt, purple earrings, get a purple ribbon in your hair, purple purse. I don't know. Wear something that makes you happy. Dance in the kitchen. If you're making your eggs, dance. Put on your favorite playlist. Sing Hamilton in the shower. Reconnect with your inner theater kid. Have these small pockets of fun to really help you romanticize the mundane. And honestly, fun is so important, not just for you, but for the people around you, because your joy is contagious. It's not selfish to prioritize your own fun, your own joy, because it spreads to others and it encourages others to find their fun, to find their joy. Your energy can be felt by other people. When your friends see you having fun, it's going to encourage them to do so as well. It's like how a lot of times if we want to make change in our lives, we need to see that it's possible and live through like the vicarious experience of someone else. And this is how you do that. Also, having fun will make your life more meaningful. You're getting more memories. You're not just stuck on a screen all day. If you're someone who's still focused on like the productivity aspect of it, fine. I will let you know that having fun actually does make you more productive, okay? So, hustle culture is lying to you. You don't need to be busy 24/7 or portray productivity all the time. That will just lead you to burnout. You'll actually be more productive if you're having fun and doing silly, whimsical things. So, have fun. Get all your friends to wear all pink for dinner. Try a new activity. Pole dancing, rock climbing, ceramics class, glass blowing. I don't know. Try it out. Take advantage of the free resources in your community. Okay, fun does not have to be something you pay for. Fun can be free. Look at your local library. Look at upcoming community events or festivals, or see what's happening at colleges and universities near you. Take advantage of these free resources. And the goal is not to be perfectly happy all the time, but to feel more fulfilled. Literally just to have fun, okay? And isn't that the most fun goal ever? So let me know what you do for fun this week. Me personally, this week I have been making a matcha latte at home every day, and that has been super fun. I have been talking to my new plant, this one right here next to me. We're becoming good friends, okay? So let me know what you're doing for fun, and I'll see you next week. Bye!